This year's Vivo X300 Pro continues, but its main focus is imaging. Let's discuss its camera. Both the telephoto and main cameras have been upgraded with new sensors. Telephoto lens uses latest dual-wing pixel large sensor, delivering high-definition image quality with HPV-level safety. Main camera upgraded to LYT-828, stronger HDR and wider dynamic range. L11 technology reduces noise in low-light conditions and features gimbal-level stabilization. Ultra-wide-angle lens uses J&E sensor, unchanged from previous generation. But specs are specs. Let's look at actual results. Before image comparison, the native light and shadow mode. A direct comparison. Although the photo details, although not as pure, clear, or sharp as regular mode, overall look is very natural. The optical flavor, with almost no algorithmic processing. The best part is it can be turned on or off, so the choice is yours. In regular mode, post-processing traces in photos taken with the X300 Pro are much less noticeable than before. Vivo is considering the preferences of different users. Vivo's adjustable sharpening is here. You can max it out, turn it off, or fine-tune it for versatility. Alright, I have two 17 Pro Max phones. For ultra-wide shots, iPhone has widest field of view, Vivo's standard, Xiaomi's narrow. iPhone's clarity good, but sharpening heavy. Vivo's clarity good, better than Xiaomi's. In backlit scenes, iPhone and Vivo reproduce warm light, Xiaomi's leans cold. iPhone and Vivo similar, but Xiaomi overexposes highlights. In low light, Vivo has best color and clarity. iPhone's sharpening strong, Xiaomi's details okay. Image blurry. In darker scenes, iPhone's dynamic range low, floor invisible, other two better. iPhone doesn't restore sign color/detail well, Vivo and Xiaomi do. Vivo's clarity better than Xiaomi's. For classic scenes, iPhone and Vivo have similar dynamic range, Xiaomi falls short. In detail, iPhone shows the most sharpening. Vivo and Xiaomi are similar. In backlit scenes, iPhone and Vivo perform better, while Xiaomi appears cold. For overall details, iPhone and Vivo excel, but Xiaomi's highlights are overexposed, losing most details. However, for shadow details, Xiaomi makes a comeback. Vivo is the most accurate when it comes to the main color, while Xiaomi has decent clarity but can't handle highlights well. The iPhone has the best clarity, but the sharpening is a bit too obvious. Vivo's clarity is good and looks more natural overall. As for night scenes, the photos taken by all three phones look pretty similar, but when it comes to neon signs, the iPhone still can't reproduce that red color, while Vivo and Xiaomi do a relatively better job. However, Xiaomi's highlights are still a bit overexposed. As for the main color, the performance at 2x zoom, the best here is the iPhone, which has the highest clarity, followed by Vivo, while Xiaomi lags a bit behind. In this scene, the iPhone and Vivo still perform better. Xiaomi's highlights are still a bit overexposed, but they've pulled it back a little, so it's okay. The overall look and feel of the iPhone and Vivo are very similar, while Xiaomi still struggles to control the highlights, and there's a noticeable difference in detail and clarity. The difference isn't huge. Mainly, the iPhone's sharpening effect is a bit stronger. In this scene, the iPhone finally reproduces the red color accurately, and in terms of clarity, there's not much difference among the three phones. 5x zoom, Vivo switches telephoto lens. Other two use main sensors, Vivo's clarity level above. When iPhone zooms 4x, Xiaomi 5x. Switch telephoto lenses. Vivo 5x. Clarity iPhone Vivo very good, Xiaomi blurry. 5x zoom, iPhone best detail building, Vivo Xiaomi behind. Night 3. At 5x zoom, when Vivo switches to its telephoto lens, image quality is significantly higher than the other two phones. Even when they switch to their telephoto lenses, there isn't much difference, and Vivo's image quality is actually better. In low-light scenes, differences aren't significant, but Vivo's clarity is still better. Vivo is better at reproducing nighttime lighting. At 10x zoom, there isn't much clarity difference among the three phones. The iPhone emphasizes sharpening, while Vivo's results look more natural, and Xiaomi seems to have an AI-enhanced detail effect. All three phones perform quite well at 10x zoom. In this scene, iPhone performs well with decent highlight control. Xiaomi still can't handle highlights and image a bit blurry. Vivo still does best job at 10 times zoom. iPhone is accurate reproducing red text, while Xiaomi a bit off, and with Vivo, red disappears. In detail, all perform well. In lighting photo, Vivo's colors are still. Vivo delivers accurate colors. iPhone is decent. Xiaomi struggles with night scene highlights, an ongoing issue. The 20x zoom, Vivo outperforms others. iPhone's clarity lacks, sharpening fails. Xiaomi generates odd details. In this shot, for text or object recognition, Vivo performs best. Under night lighting, iPhone's detail is okay. But Vivo leads clearly, while Xiaomi just cannot. Whether it's the worst or just the contrast, both are too high, making things look a little weird. At 10 times zoom, there's no need to say much. Vivo is the best performer. The iPhone does okay here too, better than Xiaomi. When reproducing distant text, Vivo is the clearest. The iPhone is not bad either, and Xiaomi's text recognition is acceptable, though there is some distortion. In this scene, the iPhone's performance is surprising, though it's not as clean and sharp as Vivo. Xiaomi looks dirty, though the detail is decent. The Vivo X300 Pro is dominant, since the algorithm has been improved and sharpening is adjustable. They've added a native light and shadow feature, so there's more to play with. As for the main camera, the dynamic range performance is surprisingly good, and the improvement is significant. Next, portrait mode. Vivo. 5 times zoom has an advantage. Photographer model distance just right. iPhone's 4 times is good, but Xiaomi's 5 times feels too far. Let's test Largon lenses to challenge the 3 phones' telephoto capabilities. iPhone doesn't expose well. Xiaomi's exposure is sufficient, Vivo in between. Vivo excels in hair cutout and subject detail. The 2x portrait test challenges the main camera. All 3 phones look good, and detail performance is decent. However, iPhone's point rendering and sharpening are too strong, while Xiaomi's settings are still. It's not bad, but cutout details can't match Vivo. In this 2 times shot, the iPhone produced a gloomy vibe while Vivo and Xiaomi performed well. The impression was that iPhone and Vivo were closer, while Xiaomi felt like it had a Japanese-style filter. The iPhone's detail performance is good, but cutout details, Vivo excels. Xiaomi often overprocesses, losing detail, making faces too white. Unlike Vivo's natural look, iPhone appears yellowish. For beauty mode, Vivo is best. Xiaomi overdoes it. iPhone skips beauty mode, sharpening facial details, making them more pronounced than natural. Vivo also does the best with cutout effects in this shot, mirroring the previous result. Overall, Vivo still performs best. iPhone oversharpens, and its cutout details aren't as good as Vivo's. Xiaomi, on the other hand, feels. Xiaomi's image smoothing is excessive. The iPhone's sharpening is even more exaggerated. Thank the yellowish tone for not worsening things. Xiaomi's beauty algorithm is inconsistent, with most shots turning out badly. In night portrait mode, Xiaomi's whitening and smoothing are over the top. The iPhone, despite lacking detail, looks more natural. So, overall performance, Vivo delivers best results, and this shot isn't different from the previous. After years on portrait photography, Vivo's overall performance across different portrait scenarios is impressive. Front-facing selfies, Vivo performs best of the 3 phones. The iPhone isn't bad, while Xiaomi's issue is aggressive sharpening. Vivo allows using 50-megapixel high-definition portrait mode at various focal lengths. As you can see, it's clearly better than the default mode. It also has a dual-wing pixel mode. The clarity is insane. I can even see myself in the subject's eyes. The other 2 phones can't compare in sharpness. This is the main advantage of the dual-wing large sensor on the front camera. After the photos, let's move on to video recording comparisons. Let's start by comparing the main camera at 1x zoom for video. Vivo's width, the capacity is smaller. Regarding the image stabilization of the iPhone and Xiaomi, the gap between the Android Justice and the iPhone is actually not that big. The image stabilization is still very good, but the Vivo's image has a slightly narrower field of view than the other two, perhaps due to cropping due to the image stabilization. Next, the ultra-wide-angle iPhone performs better in terms of image quality, image stabilization, and the widest field of view. The image quality of the Vivo is still good, while the image quality of Xiaomi is the worst. Then, the telephoto image quality and stability are better on Vivo. Xiaomi has the worst image stabilization due to its 5x zoom, but the clarity is okay. Although the iPhone has a 4x zoom, it is only slightly better than the Xiaomi, but the image quality is still not as good as the Vivo. Regarding the front camera, the iPhone has the widest field of view. The visuals of the Vivo and Xiaomi are similar. In terms of image quality, there's not much difference between the three phones. The image stabilization is actually quite good, too. Vivo's progress in video recording over the past few years is obvious to everyone. Of course, if you want to say it's completely defeated by the iPhone, it's still a bit higher, but it's already a very strong competitor to the iPhone. Here, we should also mention some of the advantages of the Vivo X300 Pro in video recording. First and foremost, it supports 4K 60 frames per second cinematic portrait recording. Xiaomi doesn't have this feature, while the iPhone only has 4K 30 frames per second. From the screen, the smoothness of 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second is still visible to the naked eye. Furthermore, this time, Vivo also supports 4K 120 frames per second log mode for both the main camera and telephoto lens, giving video creators more creative space. But Xiaomi's log mode only supports 4K at 60 frames per second, although the iPhone also supports 4K 120 frames per second log mode recording. It requires third-party software or connecting an external hard drive, which is inconvenient. Vivo allows direct LUT application for color grading in the photo album, which is extremely convenient. Speaking of photography features, Vivo excels. They've added a feature called Silk. The film strip mode is interesting. The photos you take have a nostalgic vibe, especially with flash on. The effect is really nice with few processing marks and some grain, giving it a classic old-school camera feel. As for live photo, everyone has caught up with this feature, so there's no need to say about its benefits. While taking a photo, it can also save a short video clip. Vivo has taken it a step further now. Now, even live photos can be imitated. The way objects are removed is just like with regular photos. Once you select the target to remove, it will erase it frame by frame for you. I have to say, the effect is pretty good. Plus, when you shoot 4K video, you can now select a short segment and convert it into a live photo, which makes it really convenient for sharing with others. There are many ways to play with this. Now that we've discussed its imaging capabilities, let's talk about its external camera. Both the Vivo X300 and X300 Pro support a mid-telephoto lens, which is like an ultra buff. Vivo rolled this out quickly. When you use this setup, it looks powerful. After using it at high zoom levels, photos taken with the mid-telephoto lens have a more optical feel. But polished details are good. Double-sided, pure glass metal frame is slightly larger and more rounded. The back is velvet glass, unpretentious and fingerprint resistant. Less than 8 millimeters thick, it feels good after a few rubs. The metal ring connecting cold-forged glass to the camera reduces visual bulge, and bright orange edging enhances overall quality. Gold quality is solid, especially on the front. This time, the 4-color light is finally gone. Officials said the black border is only one. 1 millimeter. How do you rate the front of this phone? They've added a new side shortcut key. It's customizable with long press and double tap. I set double tap to time frequency recording. Surfing the web, double tap to record and organize interesting content. It's system level with a unified entry point, no app searching needed. Reviewing saved items is convenient. It supports direct jump to cloud notes, very practical. Finally, its peripheral configurations. The screen is BOEQ 10+. It's a 5K display with soft colors and a good viewing experience. For eye protection, domestic screens are already impressive. But for those with sensitive eyes, I still recommend going to a store to see it in person. The battery is 6,510 milliamp hours. Honestly, when I saw it didn't start with a 7, my heart sank. But in actual use, battery life was pretty good. With dual SIM 5G, under normal use and 30 to 40 minutes of gaming, screen on time can reach 7 hours and over 30 minutes. There was even a day when I used half Wi-Fi and half 5G, and screen on time hit over 7 hours and 40 minutes. That might not sound like a lot, but keep in mind that day I was testing Honkai Star Rail for over 40 minutes, plus other games. So, based on my experience, there's no battery anxiety. Specs are just specs. The real key is how it performs daily. For charging, it's still 90W wired fast charging and 40W wireless fast charging. Charging speed is average. It takes 54 minutes to go from 10% to 100%. As for other peripheral features like USB 3, 2, infrared, NFC, IP68/69, and even ultrasonic fingerprint recognition, none of these features are missing. And I have to mention the improved vibration motor. This time, it uses a custom 751-440 vibration motor, which, compared to the previous generation's 9595, is noticeably larger. As a result, the vibration feels more solid, and the feedback is more decisive without looseness. I always set my phone's vibration to the maximum, so it's pretty good. As for the system, it's been upgraded to Alito 6. Compared to before, I feel its smoothness and the fineness of the animations are better. The most noticeable change is there's now an effect that mimics the thickness of glass. When you tap, there are some light effects and the surrounding space also responds. Overall, Alito 6 is among the top tier of domestic phone systems. I'm tired of the system icons, but I've heard there will be brand new icons and they'll support customization. We'll wait and see. As for connectivity, I've talked about it before, but this time, there's interconnectivity with iPad, allowing cross-screen collaboration and multifunctional information sync. I haven't used Apple products before, so I don't have an impression, but now that I have both an iPhone and Vivo's X300 Pro dual battery, I can feel the benefits of breaking this barrier. Alright, we've talked in this video, so let's sum it up. The Vivo X300 Pro has continued to take a steady approach in recent years. It's a jack of all trades with specs maxed out. The design is reliable and the texture is quite nice. The weather, the 9500 handles games smoothly with solid charging, battery life, and essential features. Using it as your main phone daily is comfortable. For photography enthusiasts, I highly recommend it. Everyday snapshots or quick videos, whether photos or recording, are excellent. For advanced needs, the new 4K 120 frames per second log mode offers more creative possibilities. Mobile imaging capabilities have reached this point. It's honestly really powerful. I still highly recommend that everyone use the phone you have in your hand to capture the people and things around you. As time goes by, looking back at those memories will have a special flavor to it. If this video was helpful to you, I hope you won't hesitate to give me a like.